मुरारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल। शुद्ध नाम संकीर्तन की जय। जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। हरि गुरु महाराज की जय। हरे कृष्णा। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. We'll quickly recite the Mangalacharan and then we will start with the topic. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत श्री राधा कांत नमस्तुते. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. तुम करोति वाचालं Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So today's chapter which we are discussing, it is the disappearance of Lord Krishna. For a devotee, it is a very, very difficult, thing to imagine anything without Lord Sri Krishna and his devotees. And that is what we see here, the plight of Yudhishthir Maharaj when he is discussing with his younger brother Bhimsen about the probabilities of Lord Krishna winding up his pastimes and going back. So we will read the shloka and the translation. There is no purport. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.14.12. Shivai Shodhyantam Adityam Shivai Shodhyantam Adityam Abhirautya Analanana Abhirautya Lanana Mam Angam Saram Meyoyam Mamangam Sarameyoyam Abhire Bhatya Abhiruvad Abhire Bhatya Abhiruvad. Word by word meaning. Shiva, Jagal, Isha, this. Udyantam rising, Adityam onto the sun, Abhi towards, Rauti crying, Anala fire, Anana face, Mam unto me, Anga Bhima, O Bhima. Sarmeyaha dog, I am this. Abhira Hati barks towards. Abhiruvat without fear. I'll share my screen so that everybody can see the translation. Translation. and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Just see, O Bhima, how the she-jackal cries at the rising sun and vomits fire, and how the dogs bark at me fearlessly. Purport: these are some bad omens indicating something undesirable in the future. Shloka number 13. Translation: O Bhimsen, tiger amongst men, now useful animals like cows are passing me on my left side, and lower animals like the asses are circumambulating me. My horses appear to weep upon seeing me. Shloka number 14. Just see, this pigeon is like a messenger of death. The shrieks of the owls and their rival crows make my heart tremble. It appears that they want to make a void of the whole universe. Shloka number 15. Just see how the smoke encircles the sky. It appears that earth and mountain are throbbing. Just hear the cloudless thunder and see the bolts from the blue. Shloka number 16. The wind blows violently, blasting dust everywhere and creating darkness. Clouds are raining everywhere with bloody disasters. Shloka number 17. The rays of the suns are declining and the stars appear to be fighting amongst themselves. Confused living entities appear to be ablaze and weeping. Shloka number 18. Rivers, tributaries, ponds, reservoirs, and the mine are all perturbed, but no longer ignites fire. What is this extraordinary time? What is going to happen? Shloka number 19. The calves do not suck the teats of the cows, nor do the cows give milk. They are standing, crying, tears in their eyes, and the bulls take no pleasure in pasturing grounds. Shloka number 20. The deities seems to be crying in the temple, lamenting and perspiring. They seem about to leave. All the cities, villages, towns, gardens, mines, and hermitages are now devoid of beauty and bereft of all happiness. I do not know what sort of calamities are now awaiting us. Shloka number 21. I think that all these earthly disturbances indicate some greater loss to the good fortune of the world. The world was fortunate to have been marked with footprints of the lotus feet of the Lord. These signs indicate that this will no longer be. Shloka number 22. O Brahmana, Shaunaka, while Maharaj Yudhishthir, observing the inauspicious signs on the earth at that time, was thus thinking to himself, Arjuna came back from the cities of Yadus, which is Dwarika. Shloka number 23. When he bowed at his feet, the king saw that his dejection was unprecedented. His head was down, and tears glided from his lotus eyes. Shloka number 24. Seeing Arjuna pale due to the heartfelt anxieties, the king, remembering the indication of the sage Narada, questioned him in the midst of friends. Shloka number 25. Maharaj Yudhishthir said, My brother, please tell me whether our friends and relatives such as Madhu, Bhoja, Dasharaha, Araha, Sattva, Andhaka, and members of Yadu family are all passing their days in happiness. Shloka number 26. Is my respectable grandfather Sursena in a happy mood? And are my maternal uncle Vasudeva and his younger brothers all doing well? Shloka number 27. His 7 wives, headed by Devaki, are all sisters? Are they and their sons and daughter-in-law in all happy? So this 28 and 29 will be discussed tomorrow. So let us, see some reflections. So I'm not going to talk much about the translations which Prabhupada has already given, because there is no purport. And if there is no purport given by Prabhupada, normally we do not elaborate on that, because if Prabhupada has not elaborated, then how can we elaborate on that? But yes, the topic is about disappearance of Lord Krishna. So I was hearing a lecture of Avatari Krishna Prabhu yesterday, and made note of few points, and I thought I can share because it is somewhat related to the topic. So when we talk about disappearance of Lord Krishna, we see here Yudhishthir Maharaj is finding everything unauspicious, and that is what Prabhupada has mentioned in the first purport, that is 12th sloka number 12. Prabhupada is writing that these are all the signs of some bad omens, which is indicating something wrong, and that is what is the life of a devotee. Yesterday Avtari Krishna Prabhu was mentioning in his lecture. So Prabhu was sharing that in the life of a devotee, he should be very, very happy and enthusiastic and fully charged up all the time, because the devotee has Krishna in their life, because the devotees have other devotees association in their life, so then there is nothing lost. The other loss which we see in terms of job, in terms of money, in terms of relationships, in terms of property, and so on, is not the actual loss for us, because we are so much conditioned. We are always thinking about these things and attaching our happiness with this, and that is why a little shake in any of these things brings our happiness down, and we start to think that even though I am in Krishna consciousness, why am I so unhappy? But Prabhu was mentioning that the disappearance of Lord Krishna, when Krishna is leaving from our lives, then it is the point for us to, like Yudhishthira Maharaj is thinking all bad omens are taking place. But remember, if Krishna is there, then these bad omens doesn't matter much for us, because Krishna is with us. So when Krishna departed, many people questioned that, why this kind of departure of Lord Krishna from this, material world. Why can't Krishna end his pastimes? Just like Saint Tukaram ended, he went in the uh, in the Pushpak Vimana in his own body, right? Why can't he end his life like Lord Sri Ram and other incarnations, so that people believe him as God? But Krishna is wonderful. Krishna is wonderful, and Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, he says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante. Whatever bhava you have got for me, I will reciprocate in the similar manner. And that is what we see when we are associating ourselves with the devotees of the Lord. Then we are very, very charged up. We are very happy, and we can feel the reciprocation of Krishna with us personally. But when we are not associated with the devotees, when we are associated with karmis, then we do not find much reciprocation from the Lord. The answer is simple. Krishna says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante. Whatever bhava you come with to me, I will reciprocate in the similar manner. Whatever surrender you be on me, I am going to protect you that much. I'm going to, reciprocate with you that much. I'm going to reveal myself to you that much. That is the assurance of Krishna. So many people, when Lord was doing his pastimes, Lord Krishna was doing his pastimes, many people, those who saw Krishna personally face to face, were also doubting Krishna to be God. Right? Some were doubting Krishna to be God out of love. That is absolutely fine. But others were doubting Krishna to be God as due to enviousness. Like we have example of Shishupal, we have example of Duryodhana, Karna. These people were not considering Krishna as the Supreme Personality. They were thinking he is just a cowherd boy, correct? And there were other people like, the Gopa friends of Krishna, Mother Yashoda, and Vasudev, they were not considering Krishna as God out of love and out of the yoga maya which Krishna has created. Otherwise, they cannot have their dealings with Krishna. So that is absolutely fine. When Krishna used to tell also that I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in my previous incarnation, I was Lord Sri Ram. And then when Ravana took over my wife, then I took the help of monkeys. And then we built a setu, and then we attacked the city of Lanka. And then I freed myself, my wife. And then we came back to Ayodhya in the Pushpak Viman, where a lot of monkey were there. So when Krishna used to say all these things, then Radharani and other gopis and other Gopa friends, they used to say, "Oh Krishna, stop it! Even I have read Ramayana. So don't tell all these things from Ramayana story, and don't create yourself to be a hero." But yes, that was out of love. But you see, other side, there were many people who were not considering Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then what Krishna did, he reciprocated in the similar manner. He created this Prabhashetra Leela in such a manner that people who were thinking Krishna is not God, their their mind will become confirmed with this fact, that how can somebody who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead wind up his Leela like this, where his family men are fighting with each other, killing each other, and then Krishna also leaving this material world in such a bad situation where people are fighting, his entire generation is getting wiped up and things like that. But yes, Krishna did this on purpose because he wanted to form the faith of those people who were thinking that Krishna is not God, and Krishna reciprocated in this manner. But see, this does not matter. This Leela did not matter much for the devotees, because they had got now Srimad Bhagavatam in the form of Krishna, because they had already understood that Krishna is going to wind up his Leela in the material world. So they were still in love with Krishna. They were still praying for Krishna. They were still understanding the fact that Krishna is leaving. They were still lamenting the loss of Krishna from this material world. But this is the main important point for us to understand, that Krishna created this Leela so that the people who are not considering Krishna to be God, their faith becomes perfect, and they become confirmed. Oh yes, Krishna is not God, because they don't want to accept Krishna as the God. So Krishna also does not want them to ever understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is what happens even today when many people doubt Krishna to be Supreme Personality of Godhead, even though there are several references in the scriptures, even though there are a lot of times Krishna has told himself, even though in the Siksha paper we write this question several times, that why do you think Krishna has the Supreme Personality of Godhead? But still, people are scared to call Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. People are worried, and sometimes they say everybody is same, all gods are same, and they think they are doing very nice thing when they say everybody is same, so everybody will become happy. But it is a very big offense to consider Supreme Personality of Godhead to be equal to, or to be independent of, and to be equal to Lord Shiva and Brahma also. Correct? It is one of the 10 offenses which we chant early in the morning before doing our japa. So that's not the right point. So we should be very, very confident to declare that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead without disrespecting any other devatas, without disrespecting anyone's position. Like if somebody is the superintendent of police and other person is an inspector or havaldar, so if you call the superintendent of police as a superintendent of police, it does not mean that you're disrespecting other authorities in the police station. No. If in fact they all are going to become happy that yes, you have understood the hierarchy, and it doesn't mean disrespecting anyone. I repeat myself again. Many times people think that when you call Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead, you are disrespecting others. It is not. The devotees don't disrespect even the small ant walking on the ground, even the small insect. The devotees do not disrespect. So it is not disrespecting. We must be very, very confident to call Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that is going to happen when we are going to associate ourselves with the devotees of the Lord. Otherwise, it is never going to happen. Our mind will play tricks to us. So that is why we should be ready to play trick for our mind. If you give garbage in, your mind is going to throw garbage out. And then we will say that we are not getting the taste in chanting. In spite of getting initiated in spite of practicing Krishna consciousness so many years, if we say that I'm not getting taste in Krishna consciousness, then there is something wrong, which means we are not associating with right people and we are not giving the right inputs to our mind. We are exposing our mind and senses to garbage, and that is why garbage is out. Because mind you, if we are initiated all our previous janmas, you know, the the sins are washed. When we are initiated in the yagna kunda, everything is destroyed. So when everything is destroyed, then we cannot say it is my past life karmas which is making me do all these things. No, because we are making wrong choices. We are not exposing our mind to right things and right association. Then obviously the mind is expert. Mind has to just remember previous few things and then it will come back. Previous lives also it will come back. So we have to play a trick to our mind that expose, right things to the mind, and then our mind is going to give right inputs, and then we can understand Krishna, and then we can have the taste in the chanting, and then we can, finally go back to Godhead when we are done with our lifespan here. So Avtari Krishna Prabhu was mentioning that Prabhupada asked for one life because when Lord Brahma he blinks one time, our thousands and thousands of lifetimes are over. Our lifespan is very small, but we think that I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to, become this, and all those things. But our lifespan is very small, and Prabhupada said, "Give one lifetime to me, because you have already given so many lifetimes, and it is for our own benefit." But we are scared. Then if we can't give one lifetime, then at least we can give 2 hours of our japa time initially in the morning when we are chanting. If we are able to give 2 hours of our chanting time to Krishna, forget about giving our entire life, right? It is difficult. So give 2 hours of your time, attentive chanting, and then everything is going to fall in place, because in devotee's life, around 70 to 80%, depends upon the chanting, how nicely we're chanting. We come in the right mood when we are chanting. We come in the right frame of mind. We see things clearly. We see things how they are when we are chanting our rounds properly in the morning. So many times we think that, okay, these are all fly philosophy. We have read in Bhagavad Gita, we are not the body, we are the spirit, soul. All those things we have heard several times. But there's a difference between hearing something and understanding something. When a student in the 10th standard knows, he knows that if he is going to spend a lot of time playing cricket, playing movies, playing games, watching movies, then he is going to score bad in 10th standard, and it is going to become very difficult for him to to have admission in good college and then secure a good job. The student knows it, but the student doesn't understand it. So what he does, he still wastes his time, and sometimes he'll study, sometimes he will waste his time watching movies or playing some games with friends or watching cricket. And then eventually, when the student scores very less in the exam, then is the time he starts understanding. So you see, there is a difference between knowing something and understanding something and believing something. So we might know a lot of things because our scriptures is vast. We have several references. There is no doubt about the points which are mentioned in the scriptures. It is proven and it can be proved even now if somebody intelligently reads Bhagavad Gita in the guidance of a senior Vaishnava, then it is very, very clearly understood. And we can always, you know, uh, win over any arguments if it is logically, to be explained. Then it is very easily to be understood. But we might know a lot of things, but we do not understand it, and that is why we do not believe in it, and that is why we do not follow it properly. So I remember, when I was I think in 10th standard or something, there was a movie came. Movie's name was Karan Arjun. It was about reincarnation, previous birth. And then there are several movies Bollywood has made about previous lifetime, previous janma. So one thing is for sure that previous janma is there. That is why these movies are being made. And if somebody says no, movies can be wrong. So I was doing a research on internet about the studies which are conducted in the University of Virginia in US. So they say there are around 2,500 cases of previous birth, reincarnation which has taken place. And this 2,500 cases are the cases which is from University of Virginia. It is not from India. where people might say, oh, it is something, some mythology or something. No. And these cases which are there where the previous life is proven, somebody was in a different body in previous life, and in the current life, the same person has come, but in different life. Same thing which is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. So those things are proven based on few things like previous birthmark or birth defect. About 30% of the cases involve birthmark or birth defect that correspond to the wounds on the body of the diseased person. So previous lifetimes, those marks are there. Behavior, recognition, those people are able to recognize where they used to live, what they used to do, what was their job. And then these cases are verified. If somebody says, okay, I was staying in that place, I was born as, so and so was my name, and so and so were my parents. So these people go to that place and verify, and they found it to be correct. So there are 2,500 cases which is study is conducted, and that proves this knowledge that dehino asmin yatha dehe, that the body becomes old, the body and the soul transmigrates. So that is the basic, the very first thing, that I'm not the body, I'm the spirit soul. And an intelligent person can understand it from Bhagavad Gita. A less intelligent person can also understand from the movies, and a logical person can understand from the studies which are conducted in the past and verification which have been done. So in spite of having so many proof, if somebody says, I don't believe, then the person can be called fool, correct? Because there are several ways to understand it. And when we have understood that I am not the body, I am the spirit soul, which is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, then it becomes very easy for understand that we are not going to be in this body forever, which means let us do something which is going to keep myself happy, which means my soul happy. We do everything for the body. All the advertisements and everything are made for the body, but there is nothing which is provided for the soul. And that one thing is, for which is provided for the soul, is the association which ISKCON provides, the chanting of holy name, these four regulative principles, and reading scriptures, hearing shastras, hearing senior acharyas, senior Vaishnavas. These are the things which provides nourishment to the soul, and this is the thing which is going to take us back to Krishna, because we are going to be always in the right frame of mind. So I will end with this one point. I was in my native place last week, and it is a very cold season. So we were all surrounding this, campfire, and we were sitting and we were talking. Me, my father, my sister, and my children. So in North India, there are a lot of monkeys, and two monkeys were fighting. So they were fighting very far, so it is okay. We were some of us were chanting, some of us were talking, sitting, surrounding the fire. So these two monkeys started running, and one of the monkey jumped right in front of us, where we all were seated. And when these monkeys came fighting, making sound, that point of time, none of us, called Krishna. We were like, we tried to protect ourselves, we tried to safeguard ourselves, and we could not call Krishna. So that's the point, that we might practice a lot of things, we might give big lectures, but when the moment arises, it is very important that we practice so much that Krishna comes from our mouth. And practice makes a man perfect is the right saying, because the last class I was giving that example that from childhood we are eating food with our right hand, and even if we close our eyes and we try to eat, the hand will take the morsel of food in our mouth only. It doesn't go here and there. Even if we close our eyes, it just goes like this effortlessly. That's the practice. When we are driving, initially we might find very difficult to drive. And I was thinking in the beginning, when I was learning driving 10 years back, that why they are making all this difficult thing in driving, why there is a clutch, why there is a brake, why there is a accelerator, so many things. Why can't they have only one button to, to so that the vehicle moves, and another button to stop? So, but then say after learning driving and after practicing a couple of times and then over a period of time, it has become effortless. We don't have to think that, okay, now I'm going to press clutch, I'm going to apply brakes, I'm going to, shift the gears. Nothing. It happens effortlessly. Same thing happens when we are coming from our office to our house. So we don't have to put Google navigation every day, because the mind is so much tuned that automatically, even if we are talking to somebody on phone, we will proceed through the same route and we will reach our house without any efforts. It is effortless. So in the similar manner, like these examples I've given, if we are practicing Krishna consciousness properly right from the beginning, over a period of time and again, chanting, hearing, reading, remembering Krishna, then when the final moment comes, we are going to remember Krishna and we are going to go back to Krishna. It is as simple as that. So, summarizing, in a devotee's life, the biggest loss is when Krishna is not with us, when we are not practicing Krishna consciousness, that is the only loss. Otherwise, there is no loss. Till Krishna is with us, till devotees are with us, till this holy name is with us, there is absolutely no loss. We are always to celebrate every day which Krishna is giving to us and give this Krishna consciousness to more and more people. And mind you, this we can do if we are practicing Krishna consciousness properly. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Patita Pavan Guru Maharaj ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare Bol, Hare Krishna. So now is the time for devotees to ask any questions.